And we are back for round 3 of UK Open, number 3.
Yeah.
So, Daniel, we've had some interesting matchups already. Heavyweight Samurais and Time Wizard unfortunately didn't carry through. I'm devastated. But we have another interesting matchup for you. Both these players are undefeated at the moment. So we have Tony Hoang and Dylan Owsten. So, Daniel, if you want to tell me a bit about their decks before we go over to the match?
Yeah, so we're seeing kind of two very opposite decks here. So Tony is playing the Thunder Dragon deck, which is from Soul Fusion. And Thunder Dragon's, what it's trying to do is it sets up Thunder Dragon Colossus, which prevents the opponent from searching, as well as Thunder Dragon Titan, which is if you activate a Thunder card, if you discard a Thunder card, it can respond to that discard and destroy a card on the field.
Okay, so it gains advantage from the Thunders doing what they do naturally.
Yeah, so it builds a big board, tries to make it difficult for the opponent to interact, and tries to make it difficult for the opponent to progress their game state.
And they have built-in protection as well, don't they?
They have built-in protection. And then Dylan is playing Mech Knight Crusadia, which wants to go second and just applies a lot of pressure very quickly in the game.
Yeah.
So I think we can pop over and we can discuss a bit more.
Absolutely.
Once they're set up.
Now, what's really interesting here is what we got from the table judge is Tony actually won the dice roll and chose to go first, so he doesn't know that Dylan wants to go second.
Yes, which is quite important because it could inform the decisions that Tony makes during the game.
So we have the hands here. I'll just quickly load that in for you. So that is Tony's hand there, Dan. So if you want to talk about that.
So Tony has Thunder Dragon Fusion in his hand times 2.
Yep.
He has Blackluster Soldier, and then he has 2 Thunder Dragon Roar, I believe.
Yes. That's the level 6 one. Now he's just set 2 and passed. Now this is very interesting because Dylan's deck, if I'm right, can actually do a lot of damage. It's designed to do 8,000 in a turn quite easily.
So we see that Dylan has set a card, which means he's intending to summon a Mech Knight from hand.
Yes. Now his hand we have here as well. So he drew another. So he would have set the Monster Reborn.
Yeah. So
but his hand is a lot of Mech Knights, and 1 Crusadia monster.
Yeah. So he's summoning the Crusadia Avram. Cool thing with Avram, for people that don't know, is that he is one of the characters that has been followed through for the entire World Legacy, World Chalice storyline.
Yep.
So this is his Crusadia version, but he also has a Mech Knight version, for example. So we see Blue Sky coming down.
Yes. So Blue Sky will get 1 search because in the column it's in.
Control.
Yeah, his opponent has 1 card there.
And then the Crusadia Monster's effect activates the search as well. So ideally here, he would have loved to have had the Twilight Eclipse first, because it would be able to summon and then move itself. But if he can link summon into the other extra monsters then he can continue his Mech Knights. And that's probably what we're going to see him doing.
Yes, because this is where Indigos are really strong, and once it can obviously just summon, move, and then allow another Mech Knight to come down.
Yeah. At the moment, he's representing 4,100 points of damage on board. Wow. So even that's not terrible.
No.
But again, the Crusadia deck is capable of applying a lot of damage and a lot of pressure very quickly. So it'll be interesting to see if he can get up to that 8k. And so like we were saying, we see a link too. Again, what the Crusadias have is they all gain attack equal to the combined attack.
This is the Regulex, isn't it? That he's just summoned there, I believe.
It's important to note, I did say he had 4,100 on board. That's incorrect, because the Crusadias, while they gain the attack, they do prevent the monsters they're pointing to from attacking.
Right, okay. Now, at what point do you think Dylan's going to consider using the Monster Reborn as well? Do you think will that be the final nail in the coffin, or do you think that's going to be part of the combo?
I assume that he will be able to do the combo without the Monster Reborn.
Wow, okay.
But, I mean, you don't really want your deck to be relying on Monster Reborn, although you do also play World Legacy Succession. So there are a few ways to kind of get that extender. I mean, again, when you're playing a deck that you're trying to apply a lot of pressure with, you're never going to say no to extra extenders.
Absolutely. Now we can see Dylan here. It looks like he's just calculating the damage, because this is, in this gun format, in the way he doesn't know what his opponent's playing at this point, but he must be concerned obviously that if he doesn't put enough damage in, his opponent may come back next turn.
So my assumption here, playing into a blank board like this, At first, I definitely would have considered something like Sky Striker.
Yep.
But considering no cards have been activated at this point...
That's the power, isn't it? I think he's just added there as well.
Yeah. So that just gives protection to a Crusadia card.
To any... and that's really powerful. Quick play spell that makes your monsters unaffected to card effects apart from its own is very strong.
Yeah, so this would allow him to play around Widow Anchor, would allow him to play around Impermanence if any of those cards were in the matchup here.
Yeah. I think that's a really important thing that we have to remember when we watch these feature matches is we have perfect knowledge. We know exactly what each player opened with, what they're coming in. We've got their deck list in front of us. Whereas Dylan at this point doesn't know. Yeah. For all he knows, that's 2 Widow Anchors there.
I think the scariest thing that this could be here would be something along the lines of Strike with a Multi-Faker in hand.
Yep. This is where Dylan's going to find out now exactly what his opponent is playing, depending on what he hits.
Well, I mean, they're both Thunder Dragon Fusion, right?
Oh, of course they are, yes. I think he's going to get a subtle hint now of what his opponent's
playing. At this point, I would consider as the Thunder Dragon player to possibly just concede the game at that point. Just to keep the information from my opponent. He's letting him play it out.
He's allowing the card to resolve. And also, I mean, Tony may be wondering that if his opponent can't do the 8,000, he may just be able to just top deck that one card that lets him do 8,000 back.
Exactly. It is kind of pushing it into Dylan's court to show that he has 8,000 damage available. And that's basically what we're waiting to find out. And that's
the Purple Nightfall, so he can banish that to search another Mech Knight as well.
So he banishes it to search a Mech Knight card, and then it summons back during standby phase.
Yes.
It looks like he's just going to use it to link away.
And what's really powerful about Purple Nightfall is it is if I remember rightly now, it is a quick effect, so he could attack with it, and he could banish it in his opponent's turn, or he can do...
It's a quick effect to target, so it doesn't banish on activation, which is important, because it means Widow Anchor and stuff can interact with it.
Yeah.
So we see Crusadia Equimax, which is Crusadia's big
This is
power
the
play.
best monster. Now, it gains attack equal to the combined attack of monsters used to summon it. Now, it was summoned using Purple Nightfall and a Phoenix, so it
gains attack equal to the monsters it's pointing to.
Oh, to point to, sorry.
Again, it's
I thought it was
Crusadia effect.
Okay, that was fine.
So again, it's gaining the attack.
And there's the Reborn.
So we see Reborn. Yeah.
And he's targeting there now. Will he summon that to what? Does he doesn't.
He can summon it under the Equimax, and it effectively will gain the same attack.
Now, am I right in saying that Dylan here could attack with the Indigo and then move it into Equimax's zone to power up the Equimax?
Yeah, he should be able to do that. I believe it's
which would give him, it is. So that should give him, because it's like similar to Nightfall, is it's quick effect to target and then move it. So he could potentially attack and then move to power up the Equimax, which I think would actually make it game.
Although, Purple Nightfall has higher attack.
Yes, so it would have been wiser to move the Purple Nightfall, but either way, it was over 8,000, which leads to a very quick game one, and allows Dylan to really take advantage of the fact that Tony didn't know what he was against. I think if Tony had known, he may have gone second, potentially. It's very difficult to say.
It's kind of hard to say.
The amount that Dylan searches as well.
The assumption as a Thunder Dragon player is that you're going to open up your combo.
Yeah.
I mean, your combo is just discard a Thunder monster and then make a Colossus at the very worst. Yes. So the fact that he didn't have any way into that was just very unfortunate. And I don't think you should be playing around that level of variance by saying...
That's very true. Well, he didn't have a clue, He didn't know what he was playing, and also... Like you say, Thunder Dragons are very consistent, and same with if they open one of the 3 Gold Sarcophagus. Yeah. That can really get the combo going as well.
Yeah, he just needed some way into his deck's plays, and he just didn't see it.
Now, is there anything in either player's side deck here that's going to be really pivotal in this matchup?
So we see Tony considering bringing in Droll and Lockbridge. Again, Crusadia, we saw there, the deck is all about searching.
Yes.
So the assumption is we're going to see Drolls and effects like that brought in against Crusadia. And then the Crusadia player, he has access to Hey Trunade, which doesn't seem terribly relevant in this matchup.
No, I have to admit, I've been playing Duel Links quite a lot recently, and seeing 3 Hey Trunade is just kind of scary to me, because it's only allowed at 2 in Duel Links, so I was kind of... I had to remind myself that they have different lists, and the 3 Hey Trunade in TCG is perfectly fine.
So I think what we're expecting here is most likely... We have evenly matched in the side of Dylan. That might be something to consider.
Yep.
Otherwise, I don't think there's really much that he has for this matchup.
And I think we did see because he's still going through the side deck now. He's still deciding.
He can bring in Pankratops to try and just establish extra board and try to clear Colossuses and stuff.
I think that's what he went for. I saw him pull 3 cards out. I think they were. Yeah. Oh no, he changed his mind again.
Tony seems to be very indecisive on what he's going to do.
I think this is another example of where maybe one player has not prepared for the matchup as much because they may not have expected it. I can imagine, I haven't spoken to him, but I can imagine he's prepared a lot for some of the other decks like Dangers and things like that, but maybe didn't expect Crusadia to continue on in the latter rounds.
Well, I mean, it's even a case that... So you've lost game 1 to a deck that is a really aggressive, fast deck, and it can be quite scary in that position. Even when you believe that you're favored in the matchup, it's still a case of, oh, if I open a bad hand, or if I open a side deck card that isn't good in that situation, that could cost me the game. So I'm a lot more careful in those kind of matchups. Decks like Crusadia, decks like Cyber Dragons, are decks where I'm very careful about what I'm siding in, because again, if they go off, their deck will generally try to establish its entire board in one turn.
Absolutely.
Whereas against a deck like Sky Striker, there's a bit more space for kind of making a mistake. Because you can build back a board because they generally can't apply enough pressure in one turn. So we're drawing starting hands. We're just going to wait to get a picture of the hands. We see a Batteryman Solar in the Thunder Dragon hand, and I believe we see a Thunder Dragon as well as Thunder Dragon Fusion.
Okay, so...
So Dylan has an Ash Blossom in hand, which could be relevant here.
Absolutely. Is that, which Batteryman is that?
It's Batteryman Solar.
Solar.
Yeah.
Which sends Thunder from Deck to Grave, so it really gets the deck going.
Solar is seen as kind of a staple card of the Thunder Dragon decks.
Oh, and then there's Dylan straight away going for the read on that.
So Solar is a common from, was it Cybernetic Horizon, I think?
I believe so, yeah. And there's the Ash Blossom to prevent that.
Now, what we're going to see is, I believe Tony has Thunder Dragon in his hand. So this card's just a classic Thunder Dragon.
Yep. That's one thing I like is we've got the support for a very old monster and the way it works, but you can still use the original monster in that as well. I think that's a fantastic way of really bringing the older cards to the current meta.
Yeah, 100%. In fact, the classic Thunder Dragon is quite an important card in this deck.
Absolutely.
Because again, now he's able to summon Colossus.
Yes.
With its summoning ability as opposed to having to use Thunder Dragon Fusion. So he discards, searches another copy of Thunder Dragon.
Well, that's it, is you can search as many copies as you wish. So you'll have 2 in deck, but if you've only got 1, so you've opened 2, you're not restricted. It gives you full control on that.
Exactly.
On resolution as well, I believe.
The fact that they go into grave here can be relevant as well, because he's able to shuffle them back with the Thunder Dragon Fusion.
Well, he's got the Pot of Desires as well, so that Ash Blossom... It's very difficult to say when I think would have been best time to activate it. What do you think?
I think it's fine to use the Ash Blossom early here. Again, from the Crusadia player's point of view, he's just hoping that the Thunder Dragon player stumbles. As such, using the Ash on the Solar, which we know is a key engine piece, seems reasonable. It's not a matchup like against a deck like True Draco. You're generally going to try and hold the Ash Blossom for a very impactful card like Card of Demise. I don't think holding for Desires against Thunder Dragon is really what I'm planning on doing.
There's the Instant Fusion. Now this is fantastic.
So Instant Fusion for Kaminari attack?
Yep.
Kaminari attack is a level 5 Thunder Fusion monster.
Well, it's the only Thunder target for Instant Fusion, isn't it, I believe?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. In fact, people have been very hyped to pick up Kaminari attacks recently. I believe it's from a set.
Was it
I think it's Metal Raiders.
Yeah. I remember that was the set that had a lot of fusion monsters.
There were a lot of fusion monsters which had no text other than 2 card names. And it's really interesting though because Instant Fusion makes a lot of those cards see play.
What did he? Okay, I was going to
say.
So
he summons some summer summoner.
I'm glad I left that to you. And there comes down the
So
Colossus.
Colossus comes down, and the some summer summoner will be able to turn into a Colossus as well later in the turn. So I think the board that we're going to end up here is going to be something along the lines of double Colossus and a Titan, which is pretty good.
Yeah, there's definitely no doubt that it is a very powerful summon. There comes the Titan.
So tributes to Colossus for the Titan.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Colossus and Titan both have similar ways to summon them.
Yes.
But one of them, I believe, sends, and the other one tributes. Mm-hmm. Which is kind of interesting. So Dylan is reading Thunder Dragon Dark. Thunder Dragon Dark is definitely one of the most impactful cards for the Thunder Dragon deck, because it's the one that you can activate during either player's turn.
Yeah.
So it turns Thunder Dragon Titan into a quick play, target a card on field and destroy it.
Which is very powerful.
Again, I mean, we've seen many decks in the past.
Yeah.
Most recent would be something like Zodiac, where having the ability to interact during the opponent's turn is really, really relevant.
And what's he added there, sorry?
That was Thunder Dragon Hawk.
Perfect.
Yeah. Hawk is the one that lets him shuffle cards from his hand back into the deck and then draw them back up.
Which, after the amount of searching that Tony's already done, is very powerful and useful, obviously.
Yeah. It can be quite good. One of the cards that he can search into is a card like Blacklusty Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning.
Yep.
Which gives him extra pressure. But I think in this matchup, it's quite possible that he doesn't actually need that pressure.
Yeah, I think he'd probably be more on this diffusion as well. He's probably looking maybe for one of the 3 Ash Blossoms, or the Infinite Permanence maybe as well.
Yeah, any forms of interaction are good.
Because he knows as well that if maybe something like Impermanence particularly as well, because if his opponent does summon something with a lot of attack, it gives him some kind of way to lower it as well.
So the 2 scariest possible cards that I can think of for the Thunder Dragon player here are evenly matched, which is pretty scary, but you can still keep a Colossus.
Yeah.
The scarier card would definitely be something along the lines of Book of Eclipse, which would just set all of his monsters and allow the Crusaded player to really kind of apply pressure on
and
the
if
board.
the deck does as planned, his opponent's not going to have an end phase to draw the cards anyway.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So yeah, because a lot of it's quite interesting and makes a lot of sense. A lot of the cards in Dylan's side deck are very much around worrying about back row heavy decks, because that's a big concern for a deck like this.
Yes,
but won't help here.
So recently we've seen 2 decks be quite prominent, based around spell and trap cards.
Yep.
So of course Sky Strikers, and now particularly with Thunder Dragon. So Thunder Dragon is the deck that you're playing in the format because it matches really well against Sky Striker.
Yep.
But with Thunder Dragon coming into the format, we then see that Altergeist kind of increases in power level because it has a really good Thunder Dragon matchup.
Yeah.
So you kind of have a little rock, paper, scissors there, where Striker is really favored against Altergeist, unless Altergeist has Secret Village. Then Thunder Dragon is really favored against Striker, unless Striker has Book of Eclipse.
Yeah.
And then Thunder Dragon
there's the game too. Unfortunately, Dylan just didn't have an out to that board. I think looking at the hand he had, I think Titan was really causing him the issues there. So
but it's a combination of Titan and Colossus that really causes players issues.
Okay, so now we're coming into game 3 now. I think it's fair to assume that Dylan still wants Tony to go first. Would you say? I mean, he's got the Kaijus in the main deck. He's got the evenly matched.
I'm not convinced that Dylan's deck is capable of playing going first. So I would be inclined to believe that he will still shotgun second.
Yeah, Dylan will want Tony to go first.
But at the same time, it's not a bad idea to look like you're siding always, because then your opponent doesn't know. Maybe you've decided you're going to go first.
No, exactly. And we can see a swap there. So a card's just come out. One of the trap cards. I think it was Red Reboot actually he sided in and realised that wasn't a good shout. But he's even taken...
Reboot is decent because the Thunder Dragon player is likely to play something like Impermanence, which we do see that he is playing Infinite Impermanence. At the same time, is it worthwhile? It's kind of hard to tell. So, a few people had been asking in the chat. We will have a deck breakdown going into round 4, so people can see what decks are being played for this event. again, Thunder Dragon is one of the popular decks,
Yeah.
particularly because of how it interacts with Sky Strikers.
Now, Tony seems to be taking quite a bit of time here just in deciding what cards are going to be optimal here.
Yeah.
So, and this is the thing, is like you said earlier, like he's probably now trying to work out whether he's going to go first or second and how to really optimise deciding for consistency. I mean, I can see, is that 3 evenly matched there? Just at the front, was that Invermiance?
Quite possibly. Because you're
Yeah, it was
playing
evenly
such
matched.
short games
Yeah.
against a deck like this, side decking becomes really, really important.
Yes. That
So-
one decision could really make or break the opening hand.
100%. So it looks like he's taking out Troll and Lockbird, and he is also considering whether or not he wants to play Pankratops.
Okay.
I don't know why he's keeping Denko Seka in.
I was just thinking that. I thought that's not exactly going to be beneficial against this deck.
If he's keeping Pankratops in, he's taking out his Batteryman Solars,
Okay.
which is very interesting.
That is an interesting choice.
So he has Pankratops in, and by the looks of it, he also has Evenly Matched in,
Yep.
and he is expecting for Dylan to go first in that case.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
No, I think that, I mean, he's obviously prepared. He seems... He ummed and ahed quite a bit, so maybe he was having second thoughts, but he's decided this is the plan of action he wants to
Yep.
take, so we will see how that works out for him. Now, who do you favour in going into game 3 now? Both players are fully aware of what each player is playing and the potential. Like we saw game 1, Dylan's deck just did exactly what it's designed to do, and then game 2, Tony's deck did exactly what it's designed to do.
So I think if Dylan sees a card like Evenly Matched,
Yep.
then he is very much favoured.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think, personally, I would put more faith in the reliance of the Thunder Dragon engine
Yep.
than in the Crusadia deck.
Okay.
So we're seeing a few Thunder Dragons and a Gold Sarcophagus in Tony's hand, and we have not yet gotten Dylan's hand.
Okay. So we'll just have a look there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the hands are just coming in now from the judge. Just quickly close it down. 1 second. So, right, so there's the hands there if you just want to take a little look. So there's a gold sarcophagus in...
The Thunder Dragon.
yeah, in
player's
Tony's hand.
Yeah.
See Black Lost a Soldier.
He has the Thunder Dragon Dark as well,
Yes.
so you can definitely start his combos.
Yeah,
and he has a
and
classic Thunder
As he
Dragon.
begins as well. So yeah, as expected,
Yeah.
he's going for... And he's adding...
Classic Thunder Dragon.
Yep. He's a Scarlet Fun Dragon for 1 copy.
Thunder Dragon is a really interesting card because it has such a story behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Not only has it seen play in multiple formats, it's popular from
Yeah.
the formats back in 2005, it's popular now, but
Mm-hmm.
also in games like Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories, which is
Yep.
very well remembered.
Very fondly.
Thunder Dragon was really important for climbing up into your two-headed Thunder Dragon. And now we see that we have fusion monsters that are slightly better than two-headed Thunder Dragon. Okay.
That's,
So we're summoning Thunder Dragon Dark.
Yeah.
Because we banished off Gold Sarcophagus.
Yeah.
So for people that don't know, all of the new Thunder Dragon cards have 2 different effects. They have an effect when they're discarded, and they have an effect when they're banished.
Yes.
And they can only use one of those effects per turn. But they're all reasonably impactful effects. So we'll see what he's going to do from here. We know that he has a Black Luster Soldier in hand.
Yes.
So when it gets back round to him,
Yeah.
we know that he definitely has something
Well, I was
to do
going to
with
say,
his
I
turn.
think I'd be surprised to see, unless he's used it as an extender for his link summoning, I highly doubt we're going to see Black Luster Soldier hit the field this turn. It
fair
seems
enough.
more to me like a turn 3 that he'll put that out.
A really interesting interaction it has is because it banishes cards for summoning, it then activates the effects of the
Yes.
Thunder Dragons.
I remember seeing the YCSs, there were a couple of the more Chaos versions that were running,
Yes.
not only Black Luster Soldier, but also the Chaos Emperor Dragon, the new
Yes,
one.
Chaos Emperor King of Armageddon,
Yes.
who is the current YCS prize card.
Yes.
Again, I guess it depends on which you have access to as to
Yeah.
which you play. But they're both really impactful cards. And again, they allow you to mass banish cards, which can be very impactful.
And there comes the Thunder
Thunder Dragon again. We all love searching our deck.
Absolutely.
Drawing cards is one of the best experiences in life.
Well, that is definitely it's when he's doing his combo, he's filling through the deck and then just continually replenishing resources in his hand, and there's the Thunder Dragon Fusion.
Yes. So he's reading this. That generally would signify that he might have an Ash Blossom in his hand.
Yes.
But the effect does not add cards from deck to hand. I don't think he does have an Ash Blossom though. I believe he has 4 Crusadia cards and a Mech Knight.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't think there's any interruption.
So Thunder Dragon Fusion is a really interesting card because so classically we've seen cards like Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring be very good at shutting decks down.
Yeah.
Particularly when a deck heavily relies on certain extra deck cards. And Thunder Dragons is a deck that very clearly the deck completely revolves around access to Titan and Colossus.
Yeah.
Because you're not normal summoning your level 5 Thunder Dragons. But because Thunder Dragon Fusion lets you return banished and graveyard monsters, it means that if your opponent Ash Blossoms one of your Thunder Dragon Fusions, you can often shuffle it back to make the other.
Yeah. So he's passed there with the one Titan and one Colossus. So not as strong a board as last game, but it'll be interesting to see. The effect still comes into place where Dylan can't search from his deck.
Yes.
So if he hasn't drawn the Kaiju, which I didn't see in his opening 5 cards, so...
The really relevant thing as well is just the fact that Colossus is 2600.
Yes.
So it's very hard for him to clear. And it also has built-in protection.
Yes, so even if he does attack it, it may not leave the field.
Exactly.
And also...
Not only does it not leave the field, but it banishes Thunder Dragons. So
which
you
then
can
gains
get their
their effects
effects
as well.
Yeah. So again, when you're playing decks like Crusadia...
Yeah. You can see he's counting out how many Thunders there are to protect it.
When you're playing decks like Crusadia, you're basically playing a puzzle-solving game where you are given a board that you have to deal with. So we're going to see Dylan, again, like you saw there, he's looking at the resources that Tony has in play. He's looking at the resources Tony has in grave. And he's clearly taking account of the cards Tony has in his hand.
Yep.
And then he's going to figure out what the best algorithm he can apply with the cards that he has available.
Okay, so he's again there.
Yeah, so he summons
Avram.
the Crusadia. It's Crusadia Maximus.
Oh yes, that's Maximus. Sorry.
The card depicts.
Now he's actually
or
so he's
Avram.
normal summons. You can actually special summon it if you have a link monster on field to a zone that it points to, but he obviously hasn't got that.
All of the main deck Crusadia monsters have the ability to special summon in defense position to a zone that a link monster points to. So from the point of view of the archetype, it means the link monster points to it and gains attack from that monster. So you don't need it in attack because it can't attack due to the Crusadia link monster. So it's quite an interesting
Now,
kind of...
he couldn't physically use the Maximus there, and it wouldn't have been to any great effect because there's no Crusader that would be able to attack into those dragons at this time for any benefit to him. So instead, he's linked into the Magius Link 1.
Yep.
But the thing is here he won't be able to do the searching.
He won't be able to do the searching. So, again, it seems like a really tough spot for Dylan.
Yeah.
So he's summoning another Crusadia monster.
Okay, now that one...
Tony is now reading the card.
This is Arboreal, isn't it? Yep, Arboreal. So this can be special summoned to a zone that Link Monster points to. And so this has protection, but it's more that he's getting more names on the field. For now, the Link summon into what I assume would be regular... No.
No, this is from... It's from the new set.
Spaffer?
Yeah,
there we go.
So this is from Soul Fusion.
Yes.
And again, it has the usual Crusadia effect of gaining attack equal to the attack of monsters it points to, and they can't attack.
Now this is where it's interesting. It can actually move monster zones, so this can actually help him with the Mech Knights. He can move.
Does that have a forward pointing arrow?
It has one downward and one left way arrow, but what it does, it targets one monster
okay, so
on either player's main monster zone.
So Pankratops, if the opponent has monsters, he's able to summon it.
Yeah.
And then Pankratops also has the ability that it's able to tribute a Dino Wrestler card to destroy a card your opponent controls. That effect is not ideal here because, again, the Thunder Dragons have built-in protection.
I'm trying to work out what play do you feel he's going to go for here? What interaction do you think he's looking for?
I think, again, we don't have access to the cards that he has in hand at the moment, but yeah, so he's summoning another Crusadia card.
Yep, we have that one there.
So he's summoned 2 Crusadias through their effects so far.
Yes, this is Reclusia, sorry.
Yeah, so basically he's going to start trying to deplete the Thunder monsters.
Yes.
He seems to be targeting Titan, which is interesting, because Titan only banishes 1 to protect, I believe, whereas Colossus is 2 banish.
Right.
So it would be more efficient.
Okay.
He'll want to be targeting the one that requires the banish too.
Oh, no, he's not just
so
he's moving it, say, to summon the Mechanite probably first.
Yes.
And then we'll probably try and do destruction.
Yeah, unfortunately he can't summon Blue Sky in order to search 2 here
No.
due to the Colossus.
That would be incredible.
It would be pretty plus. And we're linking away again.
That's into Max, surely. No.
Unicorn.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You can spin one back into deck.
So Unicorn will target Colossus here,
Okay.
because he wants to search his deck.
Yeah.
But if you look, Dylan is burning through so many of his resources
I think
now.
he's only got 1 card left in hand, actually.
It looks like he just has 1 in hand. So it's really a question of what is he going to do from here. Can he respond to the Titan effect? As in, does he have a card to respond?
Yeah.
He can chain.
And that's now 3 Thunder monsters in the grave as well, so even though 1's going, it may be difficult to remove the second one.
Yeah. So Titan's effect has to chain directly to the effect that discarded the Thunder monster.
Okay.
So he could have chained Pankrotop's effect
Right.
in order to prevent Titan from activating its destruction effect,
Okay.
but he has opted not to. Again, Unicorn doesn't seem to be terribly high value here, unless he had something to do with it.
That was a lot of monsters that went into that summon, a lot of resources from his hand.
And that's, again, like we were saying, at the end of the day, when you're playing a deck that's trying to apply pressure and is trying to get 8,000 damage on board in 1 turn,
Yeah.
you're basically playing a resource game, and we're seeing here that Tony is managing to really push the resources and force his opponent to run out before he does.
Yeah.
Like Tony has the better board. He has 4 cards in hand. He has a Thunder Dragon Fusion in graveyard. Pretty sure he has a Blackluster Soldier.
Yes, he does.
So he's going to discard Thunder Dragon. He's going to destroy Pankratops, and that looks like it's
Yeah,
going to be
I think at this point the writing's on the wall for Dylan here. It'll be interesting to see if the key point here is, can Tony put 8,000 damage on board. I think if Dylan knew the Black Soldier is in hand, he would probably assume that is probably near enough game.
Even if Dylan can't apply enough damage to end the game this turn, presumably he's going to be able to establish at least 1 Colossus.
Yes.
And I don't know any 2-card combination for the Crusadia player that clears that board at that point.
No. He could even draw evenly matched, and it still probably wouldn't make that much of a difference, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, he just keeps the Colossus anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So he's just searching for a Thunder monster now. Okay.
Yeah. So we search Hawk again.
Yep.
Dylan saying it's okay.
Yeah.
No need to shuffle, or no need to cut the deck.
So this has been I'm really pleased we actually managed to feature this match, because we got to really show off. We're still watching Game 3 now, but Game 1, like I said earlier, was very much Dylan's game. He just showed what his deck did in 1 turn, done. Game 2 was kind of the parallel to that, in that Tony sets up a board that didn't win, but it locked the opponent out enough that Dylan accepted that was the end of the match. And now in Game 3, we've actually seen both decks do what they can do. We've seen Dylan summon a lot, so it's really interesting to see. But yeah, Tony's just now fusing into Colossus. Yeah.
So he's summoning Colossus.
Yeah.
Again, Dylan seems pretty much...
I think he's got resigned to the fact.
Yeah. And that's something that's important. It's very important at any point in the game to come across as if you're in control.
Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, he could be bluffing here.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a Gores in hand.
I mean, there could be a Gores, there could be who knows what. But I mean, the other side of it as well is Dylan is just waiting to see if Tony can play it out. Like, that is the other thing. For all at this game state, Tony doesn't have game until it's on the board.
Yeah. And it's important to force your opponent to play things out.
Absolutely. You always want to make sure that your opponent has game, can play it correctly. And there's the Battle Soldier. That's the secret, that's beautiful. And that's it. That's where Dylan's now realised that is over 8,000 damage on board. So that was a really interesting third round, actually. Really enjoyed that game. I hope you guys did as well. It was really interesting to see how they went, how the game played out, especially game 3 there. I think from turn 1, that was sort of Tony kind of put the round on the wall that it was going to be his game, but really interesting to watch.
No, it's a really interesting matchup, and again, they're both archetypes that we've seen from new sets.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because we could see these decks doing a lot more going forward as well.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for tuning. Hope you enjoyed round 3. We'll be back in a couple of minutes where we'll be interviewing Tony for his thoughts on the match and how it went. And I understand as well that our deck check team have been very kind in getting the deck breakdown, so we'll have that in round 4 for you as well.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, and we'll see you in a minute.
See you guys soon.
And we're back with our round 3 winner, Tony. So thank you for joining us after the game. That was a really fun match to watch, actually. How did it feel for you? Because the games were quite contrasting how they went, actually. How did you feel it went for you?
Yeah, I think it went fine. It's the first feature match, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the first feature match. Everything was great. Judge was nice.
Yep.
She sort of showed me how to deal with the settings and stuff like that.
Yep.
And pretty much everything was great.
Good. Now, when we were watching the match, we noticed that game 1 didn't go too well for you. Set 2, and then the game was over. Like he did the full combo, which got the OTK. Now, was Crusader a matchup you were really expecting coming into this tournament?
Actually, no. I was not expecting Crusader to. I thought that kind of fell off.
Right.
But surprisingly, it looks like it's still going strong.
Yeah, it had a couple of cards in the latest set as well, I think, which is kind of imagined it, and also it doesn't mind going seconds. But then in game 2, your deck actually did get to do all the combos and make the full board. And then game 3 was really back and forth. There was some interesting bits there. You set up the board game 1, the turn 1. And then he did some combos to try and bring it back, but the time was too much, I think, for him to deal with.
Yeah.
Is there any particular matchups, because we've got another 5 rounds to go, that you're particularly looking forward to?
Sky Strikers, actually, at the moment, I was really prepared for Sky Strikers. I was thinking that would be one of the most played decks today.
Yep.
Haven't played against any today, actually.
Oh, right, okay.
That's
not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. But the deck, I wanted to avoid is probably older guys. I think the deck has a really bad matchup against the deck, but I have a pretty good side for that.
Okay, so that's the biggest thing, is like, if you recognise the matchup isn't so strong, then you can actually look into that.
Yeah. And the reason why I chose this deck, I would say that this deck's really good against. Sky Trickster is still in the game currently.
Yep.
So I know a few people still playing it.
Yeah, they do quite well at London as well.
It does pretty well against that deck. Again, right now, Thunder Dragons I think is really impressive deck. It's really good against even Golkeys if anyone planning to play with Golkeys, stuff like that. And the really bad match I would say is Old Guys and maybe Crusader.
Yeah.
if I don't know the deck.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. Is the knowledge of the deck is a big help as well. Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you very much for joining us afterwards, and good luck in the rest of the tournament. Thank you very much, and we'll see you guys in round 4.